Before he could even celebrate the meeting of European world leaders at the White House, Donald Trump managed to embarrass himself on the international stage, which is both appropriate, given the company, and typical, given the taco. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. A special shout out before we begin to thank Rona and an anonymous supporter on Ko-Fi. Your contributions are generous and were a fine way to wake up on my birthday. Yes, it is. Follow the link in the description if you want to contribute too. But enough about that, on to our breaking story. Donald Trump has been getting around lately. Following his conjugal visit in Alaska with noted war criminal Vladimir Putin, an encounter that left him smelling of lust, shame, and borscht, Trump met up with multiple heads of state at the White House to discuss the fate of Ukraine. In case you missed it yesterday, that provided no shortage of wild moments. Like this one of Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni rolling her eyes at the man.
For a long period of time relative to others, they don't last very long. You've lasted a long time. You're going to be there a long time. Chancellor Merz of Germany, who is very strong.
Or this fun moment where French President Emmanuel Macron looked like he was ready to punch Trump in the face.
I think you'll see that President Putin really would like to do something else. I think when we set that up, when we do, I think it's going to be when, not if. I think you're going to see some really positive moves.
Dude, that's like B. Arthur in the Golden Girls level dagger staring right there. For more on both of those incidents, see our other videos here on the channel. In fairness to Macron, the impulse to punch Trump in the face is an urge most Americans have felt at least one point or another. Mitch McConnell has been living with it for years. And if you think all that made you wish, at bare minimum, that Trump would get a pie in the face, stay tuned, it does get worse. Coming out of the meeting, Trump said he looked forward to getting Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to the table together to discuss a permanent end to the war, not a ceasefire. However, this morning, true to form, Putin managed to humiliate Trump yet again. Here's a little update.
Just a few minutes ago, Moscow refused to commit to a meeting between Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, though it's stopping short of ruling out any further talks. Now, the meeting was supposed to be one of the major takeaways, if not the major takeaway from the historic White House summit yesterday. President Trump even posted that he's working on setting up that bilateral meeting between Zelensky and Vladimir Putin. But again, just a few minutes ago, the Kremlin said it is only prepared to, quote, raise the level of the delegation it sends to meetings with Ukraine.
So, no progress reached? Don't act surprised. Trump is not the great deal-maker he likes to think he is. For that matter, Putin insisted on taking over large chunks of Ukraine to end the war, some of which Russia isn't even currently occupying. A reminder, in case you're new here, Putin doesn't really want the war to end. He wants to conquer all of Ukraine and take Zelensky prisoner. We know that, so why doesn't Trump? And if that embarrassment wasn't enough, Trump managed to step in it yet again. Just as his meeting with the 8 European leaders was about to kick off, Trump started running his mouth. Have a look at what he said to French President Emmanuel Macron.
Great.
Thank you for being on. Yeah, I think
To set up a trilat, you know. So.
and where do you want to do?
I think he wants to make a deal. I think he wants to make a deal for me. You understand? I think as crazy as it sounds. Just sit down. Sit down, everybody.
Okay.
I think we'll let the press come in for a
Waiting
minute.
for the off.
Did you catch that? Let's take another listen. Can you bump up the volume?
You're great.
Thank you for being on. Yeah, I think
To set up a trilat, you know. So.
and where do you want to
I
do?
think he wants to make a deal. I think he wants to make a deal for me. You understand? I think as crazy as it sounds. Just sit down. Sit down, everybody.
Okay.
I think we'll let the press come in for a minute.
Waiting for the off.
Yes, folks. Trump thinks Putin wants to make a deal on Ukraine because he likes Donald Trump. Trump is naive enough to believe that, or egotistical enough. Forget Putin's reasons for invading Ukraine in the first place. Forget that he has told Trump in the past he wants to control the whole of the country. Forget that Putin has said that publicly. What trumps all of that, in a manner of speaking? the fact that Putin likes Donald Trump, and so all other considerations go out the window, at least in Donald Trump's mind. This man isn't a master negotiator. He's one of the worst I've ever seen, a mark easier to play than a player piano. Thank goodness that so many European leaders were there. Hopefully they can do so much more to protect Ukraine and fend off Russian encroachment. Hell, Trump loves ratings. I'm wondering why this meeting wasn't aired as a special episode of Intervention. Maybe they can convince Trump to resign and go to rehab for stupidity. It would be an intervention for Trump and for the rest of us that actually care about our nation. And if Europe won't do it, pray Congress does soon. They could start by releasing the Epstein files. This is Occupy Democrats.